Good afternoon everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I recorded a video, I think over 2 weeks, and I have been trying to do that for a while, hence why I'm grabbing this opportunity whilst Ivy is doing some drawing. Ivy, you're there too, yeah, look, you're here. She likes to see herself. Anyway, so I'm going to attempt to record this video which is going to talk a little bit about... Hold on a second. So it's going to talk a little bit about...
Beep.
Wow. No, it wasn't going to be about boobs, but the video is going to talk about... I think I'm going to have to pause this. Sustainability in running. I guess something that I started thinking about how I can sort of change my impact on the planet in a positive way was probably about 2 years whilst I was pregnant, and I did something called Plastic Free July for the first time. That's really when the switch went off for me, that actually I have a role to play, considering much more broadly what I buy, which companies and brands I support. I think she wants Alexa, play Peppa Pig song. Can I record a video with Peppa Pig on in the background? I think I'm gonna have to record this video when my husband gets home. Right, let's try again. Yeah, the main reason why I struggle to record videos at the moment is just because of time, and the time I actually have on my own is very small. At the moment, I just record when I can, when I get a chance, when I think of an idea. I've been thinking about running and sustainability and just the planet, and I think when I run I feel much more connected to earth. I see the waste, I see like masks on the ground, I see animals, you know, I could be up a hill and I see a crisp packet or whatever, and it really makes me think. Also, I've done a reasonable amount of races over my time, and I see the amount of waste that sometimes goes into those, especially things like plastic cups, although I think a lot of that's changing and definitely will. So what I want to talk about today was just really a few things that I have considered in terms of firstly lessening my impact on the planet. So I think that's one side of it. So that's like things you can do to kind of reduce your own personal impact, and then there's the positive side of things, which I think are things you can do that are almost like not just reactive but more constructive. So like if you have time, or if it's something that really grasps you, then possibly could be of interest. So I'm just going to start with like the kind of really obvious things which I think are probably easier to make small changes with, and one is clothing and footwear. Like, we all love running wear. I'm not going to pretend I don't love getting new activewear. I love it. I think it makes me feel good. It makes me want to go out on a run. I love getting new trainers and all of that. But I think it is really worth considering who you're buying from. Are they ethical? Do they get the products made in China? Do they care for their labor? Are they using a lot of polyester? You know, what are their policies? Are the products cruelty-free or vegan, sustainable? All of that kind of stuff I think is really, really important, because we as the consumer have the power. We have way more power than we think to either call for change. If you really love a brand, like, there's nothing to say you can't email them and give them your thoughts or feedback or requests for products in the future. If you are willing to change, which is kind of the route I've gone down, apart from my trainers so far, although I have found a brand that I am keen to move to, because the brand I currently use I don't think are as ethical as they, you know, as other brands. So I think that's a personal thing, but don't underestimate like the power you have. Like, we do have so much power as runners, as sports people. We are the people that purchase from the brands. And you know, even if you look at big brands like Adidas, you know, they are now creating trainers out of plastic, or, you know, repurposing plastic that comes out of the oceans and that kind of thing. So if you say you're an absolute Adidas lover, then potentially look at their trainers that are made from reusable plastic, or that, like, those are little changes that we can, I think, make pretty easily. And then obviously we can look for brands that are more sustainable. And I think the best thing we can do is reuse and recycle. But obviously there are times where we, as runners, you know, we do need new footwear and our running clothes aren't going to last forever. But I think it's important to bear in mind that a pair of trainers takes up to like 1,000 years to like go or degrade or anything to it. So for me, there are a couple of brands I've been looking into. I know that Sweaty Betty has a sustainability kind of policy and they are using more friendly fibers. They have got goals towards being more environmentally friendly, although I don't believe they're the best brand in terms of that. There are other ones, Girlfriend Collective, or, you know, have a look at their website. They have really good sustainability policies and practices. I'm not sure if they're a B Corp. It's also worth looking to see if a company is a B Corp, because that means they are considering people, planet, business for good, basically. That's what that is all about. Other brands, I have tried Sundried. They're another one that have more sustainable practices and materials. Vivo Barefoot, now that is a really interesting brand. I'm really keen to get some of their shoes. They're meant to be more grounding, closer to the earth. They've got less padding. I think I'd definitely try them for walking first. But they've also got vegan, completely vegan shoes. So I'll go to races, because again, this is something we can have a say in. If you think about the races you've done in the past, I know for me that typically they all would have plastic cups, lots of paraphernalia afterwards, no option to opt out of t-shirts and medals. I think most of them do have that now, but loads of race t-shirts. Actually, there is a company called Rerun Clothing where you can donate t-shirts to, footwear, clothing, look them up on Instagram. They also have a copy of a letter you can copy and paste and send to race directors requesting that they consider the impact of their race on the environment. For me personally, if I had the option to opt out of a medal, for example, that's not important to me, but that might be important to you, so I totally get it. If medals are really important, then I think then obviously that's a personal choice. But for me, if I can opt out of that, then I tend to. And also with the t-shirts, I do wear my run t-shirts, so I would get my run t-shirt. Well, I'm gonna wear it because I still wear t-shirts I got from races like years and years ago. But some people are particular about what they wear when they run and they wouldn't wear their race t-shirt. So if you're one of those people, then just look to opt out of getting the t-shirt. That's races, and again, we can have an impact on that. As I said, on the Rerun Clothing website, there is a copy and paste letter. I keep losing my train of thought, but I'm here again, and I got to food, which I know can be a bit of a controversial topic for some people, but it's a big thing. What we eat is probably the biggest thing we can change in terms of the impact we have on the planet. There is various research studies that have been done. I think there's an Oxford University one. I'll link below to the one that I read that said the biggest thing we can do more than giving up a car is to switch to a plant-based diet. And that is something that I did gradually. It is something that I started probably 6 years ago. That is what was the thing that literally tipped me into this journey that I am now on. Everything about my lifestyle kind of started with small changes to not just what I was eating, but the products I was buying vegan and cruelty free for all like skincare, makeup, all of that stuff. So anyway, food is a big thing. So I think as runners as well and sports people, I am not an expert before I say any of this, but there is a huge emphasis on protein, and I think a lot of people assume, or culturally we're told we need meat for protein, which is just not true at all. Human beings can survive on a varied whole foods plant-based diet. There is so much research and information out there to say that that is the case. The average human being needs 50 grams of protein a day. I know that some people maybe require a bit more because they exert themselves, but I think there's far too much emphasis on protein, and particularly on animal protein. I think what we eat should come from our diet without the need for any kind of, supplements or anything like that. But protein is something that, this is a great book, I'm reading this, it's called There's No Planet B. And there are some really good, helpful little graphs and charts in here. And this one is about the different carbon footprint of different types of protein based on 50 grams per day. So by far the highest carbon footprint comes from beef, and then lamb and mutton, and then it kind of goes down like that. Other great sources of protein, this is where I get all my protein, are peas, nuts, plant-based milks. Pea milk is a great source of protein, soya milk, tofu is a great source of protein, and pulses as well, things like chickpeas, flaxseed, all sorts of things have protein in them. I think it's really worth considering. Like, I am not someone who is all or nothing. I have never been like that. I do believe that we all have a responsibility to make small changes, whether that is one meat-free day a week or to consider protein sources that are not from animals. There are ways in which you can alter a day of your week, or maybe 3 evening meals of your week that are based around plant-based foods and plant-based protein. Switch from, if you use a protein powder, switch from a whey dairy-based protein powder to a vegan one. There are so many, pea, rice, cranberry. Consider what foods you're eating, and if you can make small changes, then you know, that's amazing. Another thing is milk. Obviously dairy milk has a much higher carbon footprint than any type of vegan plant milk. Daddy. Oh, hi! Daddy in charge. Don't draw on Mummy's book. Another thing is soya beans. Soya gets such a bad rep, and I think that is, from everything I've read, it is not accurate. Obviously soya is a great source of protein. My kids both drink soya milk. There's a section on this in this book about soya here, and it says gram for gram, a soybean has more of almost every human essential nutrient than beef or lamb. So I think in terms of the environment, criticism around soya has been because of the fact it is fed to animals. Start that again. It is very nutritious. I drink soya milk when I'm not drinking my own plant-based milks. The whole kind of reason behind my Mac milk business was because I wanted to find and make my own plant-based milks that were not in Tetra Paks. I guess for runners there are specific considerations that might be more relevant. I mean, packaging is relevant to everyone. I thought I would start this video by talking about those areas that we can possibly shape, change or share, which are clothing, what we eat, and the races we attend and how we can influence change. And then there are a few other things I wanted to mention. There is something which I've been looking into which is called plogging. I think it was started in Sweden, and it's basically like a trend of running and litter picking, or picking up litter, and there are groups, there are people doing it solo, there are loads of people doing this, and it's something I really want to get into. Plogging comes from two words, jogging and plucking. It is becoming a big thing. I would love to be able to create a group dedicated to this that could go for runs, gentle jogs, and have like fun and pick up litter together. Back to the food thing is that I do still buy like protein snack bars and snack bars, but I do try, especially when I do races, to make all my own running snacks. For one, you know what's in them, they're based on whole foods, they're not processed. I make my own energy balls, like flapjacks, nut bars, and it means that I'm not then having to dispose of excess packaging or like the little sachets that gels are in. I can't handle the gels anyway because they just go right, like they're not good for my stomach. For me, it's become a really conscious thought process that I probably consider at some point during every day. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you can take something from it, whether it's just one small change or something you feel more strongly about. If anyone is interested in plogging, please comment below, especially if you live locally, because I would love to set up a group. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you all soon. Happy running.